Fear of the police is all too real in the Lowcountry and across the nation. And tonight, ABC News 4 is going beyond the badge as Chiefs Reggie, Burgess and Reynolds tell us how they are trying to shift this perception.
We're experiencing this violence. Our African-American communities, diverse communities that actually need us the most and oftentimes have the least amount of trust for the police. And sometimes that's rooted in good reasons.
This Walter Scott shooting, 2015. I was the assistant chief of police there. A couple of days later on, the video came out. We saw what happened. Now our department was at ground zero.
But where do you begin when fear drives those feelings of distrust?
One of the really most basic things that I always say to myself, and we talk a lot about, is create no additional harm. Do not create harm.
Building a foundation of trust is necessary, but not always easy.
You cannot develop a relationship and get help that's going to get you through any kind of storms if you don't work on it before storms come.
And one of the biggest requests that I get is we want our officers out on foot. We want them out on bicycles. We want them, if they're going to be in their cars, make sure they have their windows rolled down. We actually want to have a relationship with our officers.
Police officers got to go in all different neighborhoods. So we need to be prepared to understand the cultures and the backgrounds of all communities.
Resistance comes from those who don't welcome the police.
And all the folks who are the naysayers, who said we're not needed in there, tell me when the people stop calling us and asking us to come to the communities. Tell me why the people are calling us to come to the funerals. Tell me why the people are calling us to come to wakes. Tell me why the people asking us to have officers in the schools that their kids are going to. If that's the truth, then why is this world spinning the way it spins and why police are in the communities every day? Because it's a small percentage that wants that. Why? Because they won't be up in those corners dealing. They want to break into people's houses. We're going to be out there for those folks. We put our life on the line every day for them. Every day, because the people expect us to.
That's the drive for most officers, but occasionally one will make a bad decision.
We're the only profession in the United States of America, the only profession that when one person does a heinous act in Minneapolis, Minnesota, that we all are condemned for it. I would never have done what they did in Minneapolis. I don't agree with it and I'll never agree with it, but I'm held accountable by society simply because I wear the same uniform that they do.
The focus for these leaders is to build relationships.
I do know that a white chief speaking mainly to an African American community in uniform where there's already a high level of distrust. I've been smart enough to surround myself with people who grew up in this community, who've been here a long time.
Chief Reynolds brings community activists to his briefings.
I think something that people have demanded from us is accountability, transparency. I'm not hearing from our communities they want us to be perfect. People don't really care what you know, it's that they know that you care.
Chief Burgess walks for justice.
Because as long as we keep fellowshipping, as long as we keep any kind of ship we can ride on, anyone in partnership, we ride on that to work with our community. And that counts.
I think it's important that the people in our city, county, in this area, know that there's leaders talking to each other, sharing with each other, that have the interests of our communities at heart.
And coming up next week in the final installment of the Beyond the Badge series, our top cops discuss working with each other to keep us safe.